Thank you. So beautiful to have me here. So yeah, basically we're here in this time. What we have to remember is we weren't just thrown here, right? We were demanded to be here. We were like, no, I want to be here at the end of the 25,920 year cycle, ushering the great awakening on the planet, right? So we're in the age of Aquarius. So that's the age of truth. So everything that we're seeing now, whether it's something we call negative truth, fearful truth, it's all comes down to truth. And truth is knowledge and wisdom, and it's a form of light. So what happens in these end of these cycles is the sun's going to start to bathe us in these massive amount of photons. So we get these gamma rays coming in. So they start flooding the whole earth. They start changing our entire DNA. So we're being upgraded through knowledge, through wisdom. In the 1980s, we started seeing the Schumann resonance increase, which is the heartbeat of Earth. So the electromagnetism, as soon as we touch the Earth, used to be 7.83 hertz. That meant we could take in 7.83 bits of information per second. And bits are beams of light. And light is the most efficient packaging system for knowledge or wisdom, right? So now guess what we're at today? We're at 66 hertz. So we're not at alpha anymore. We're not at just presence that everything's fine. We're not in the 3D world. We're now in the 4D world. So the old version of ourselves is gone. We can't go back to that. The whole new normal isn't normal at all. So we're going back to a higher purpose, a higher self. We're being activated through knowledge and wisdom. The sun is the photonic activity of the divine masculine. As we touch the earth, that's the divine feminine. So we're seeing this symbiogenesis start to happen and coalesce here on the planet where we're all partaking in it. Some of us don't really know what's happening. We're sort of stuck in fear. Fear is at 1 hertz, right? So we can take in one piece of information per second. If we get to a state of love, we're at 528 hertz. And if we look at what love is, it actually is us. So inside of our DNA, the vibration of our DNA is 528 hertz. That's the vibration of love. That's the divine feminine. Okay, this is what the holding tank is. So in order to heal, we have to get to a state of self-love. Inside of that DNA, known as photons, okay, this is the light energy, the masculine energy. This is the wisdom, the knowledge, information. So in order to heal mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and evolve, we have to have proper knowledge, wisdom, and information encoded in photons, but divinely guided through love. Okay? This is how we heal in a big way. So what we're feeling now on a personal level is being felt by every animal, by every tree, by every species, and by the earth itself. The earth is calling for a new change, a whole paradigm shift which we're experiencing. So when we start entering and touch the earth at 66 hertz, which is happening today, we're not in alpha anymore, we're in gamma. So what does that mean? Gamma means that we're more compassionate, we're more loving, we're more centered, we're more self-controlled. It helps us to meditate more, go deeper inward. It helps us to foment massive change. And this change is happening mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So we have to remember that we said, okay, I want to be here for this. It might be scary and different, but there is no fear for change. We're basically shedding the old skin. Why does a snake shed its skin? Because it's outgrown it. That's basically what's happened. We've outgrown the 3D world of running around in adrenal burnout, having no brain coherence. If we don't have brain coherence, we can't get to heart coherence. So now the brain has gone, zoop, everything's fine, relax, and we feel it. We don't know it cognitively because everything is so different, so changing, and everything that we knew to be true is completely gone, right? Pretty much everything. So now we have to go inward. We have to trust our own innate divine knowledge and connect back to the frequencies. So we do that through connecting with nature, for eating live DMT-rich entheophotonic, which is the light of God within, food. So all of the information we're getting, a lot of us, is coming actually through the food, through the water. So we have to look right now, are we having the purest source of water that we could, the purest sources of food? Are we basically supporting this entheophotonic upgrade in a big way, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Because the emotions are going to come. You know, that's a natural form. The emotions are the chemical byproducts of our experiences, of our old wiring. You know, we have about 400 billion bits of information coming into the brain every second. We filter it down to less than 2,000. So out of all these options we have, we filter it down to less than 1/2 of 1/1,000,000th of 1% of what actually is. How crazy is that? So if we start changing our perceptions, we start changing our internal world, we start changing, we open the sensory gating parameters by trying new things, by connecting with nature, by having new foods, by cleansing, by detoxing, by getting ourselves back into alignment with the spiritual warrior that we were. We have to reconnect back to that, especially at that time. We have to remember why we actually came here. So we connect with the sun. We do sun gazing. You know, just try something really different, really new. Try a cleanse of the liver gallbladder. Do some fasting. Now's the time to really start to transform and say, thank you, beautiful sun energy. I'm going to upgrade to 66 hertz. Because the people struggling the most are the ones that aren't going to shed their skin. They don't want to. They love their skin. But what happens is if we're growing too much, our skin becomes our prison. The snake cannot move, okay? So we have the 3D world that's going to refuse to upgrade to 4D, and that's fine because fear is trapping us down in the frequency of 1 hertz. We can go 528 times that energy. We can expand our aura simply by just having a keyword. We can say shift. You know, you wake up in a shitty day, shitty mood, you're seeing everything just collapse in. You have a cognitive word. It's a trigger, cognitive trigger it's called. So you go shift, boom. You go do an exercise, whether it's qigong, whether it's meditation, whether it's hugging a tree, whether it's having a smoothie, having a super awesome shot, sun gazing. You have something that shifts you out of that low vibration that isn't actually you. It's been foisted upon us because we are the divinity of love and light combined. We are divine union, masculine and feminine combined. So we are everything that we want to be. We just have to remember that. We have to understand, once we get out of that way, we have to switch it and get back into the most beautiful realm of what we are. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. So we're being called right now to massively look at what we've been doing pretty much our whole lives. Has it been in alignment with our soul? Have we been in line with our passion? Because our passion is our purpose. And if we're not doing our passion, we're not doing our purpose. If we're not doing our purpose, we're not passionate, right? And we're slowly going back to that low vibration of fear or sadness or grief or shame. We have to transmute these emotions, bring them back up to the heart, and understand that we're here for a super divine purpose. We're all like little instruments of orchestras, right? What happens is these guys have been telling us, no, you're not a flute, you're a saxophone, play the drum, play this. So everyone's like, no, I want to be a drum, I want to be a saxophone, and there's just this sort of chaos now. So now we're coming back together. We're sitting down, we're thinking, we're relaxing, we're getting back to that union of self. We're saying, you know what? I never wanted to play the drums. I want to play the flute. And as we start getting back to singing our soul song with our purpose and passion aligned through love and light, we start to resonate at the highest vibration that we can. We start supporting it physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We become a beacon of light for others to follow. And as we enlighten ourselves, we enlighten others. And as they enlighten themselves, they start to enlighten others. And soon with our positive image of what we want this whole beautiful earth to become, the earth becomes a paradise because this holographic image that we call reality is being shaped every second of every day by our thoughts. Every second. So we're here now to choose love, to choose light, to choose divinity, and support each other through the massive awakening that the world has seen in the last 26,000 years. Thank you.